All right, let's get right into it. In today's analysis, we are unpacking a single day that basically triggered a massive earthquake across the tech world, April 28th, 2026. So grab your coffee and get ready to focus, because we've got a lot of ground to cover. We're looking at 6 explosive stories today, and honestly, any one of them could have been a front-page headline on a normal day. We're going to unpack exactly what happened, look at the hard data, and most importantly, figure out why this actually matters to you.
Here's a quick look at the agenda. First up, the earthquake in the AI world. Second, the financial revolution happening over in the X ecosystem. Third, some pretty crucial changes coming to your everyday apps. And finally, we'll wrap up by looking at the intersection of AI and the military.
Okay, Section 1. Let's dive straight into this AI earthquake. The absolute epicenter of this shockwave comes from OpenAI. And to really grasp what they're trying to do with hardware, you have to look at this core philosophy from Sam Altman. A future where the phone is quieter than today. Now, what does a quiet phone actually mean? Well, think about your current smartphone. It's essentially a really noisy grid of apps, right? Notifications everywhere, constantly begging for your attention. OpenAI wants to build an AI-first device where all of that is just gone. You won't be jumping between separate apps to check the weather, order an Uber, or get food. Instead, a central AI agent works quietly in the background, learns your habits, and just handles the logistics for you. It's a completely app-free vision of the future.
And listen, they are not messing around with the scale of this thing. Based on supply chain reports from Ming-Chi Kuo, OpenAI is heavily partnering up with Qualcomm and MediaTek for the silicon and Luxshare for the manufacturing, but here's the real kicker. They are targeting mass production by 2028 with an annual goal of 300 to 400 million devices. To put that into perspective, that is huge. This isn't some niche experimental gadget. That kind of massive volume signals that they are coming directly for the absolute top tier of the smartphone market.
And you can see exactly how the market digested this news. Qualcomm jumped 13%, MediaTek is up 8%, but Apple down 1.7%. Why is Wall Street penalizing Apple here? It's pretty simple, actually. OpenAI already has 500 million ChatGPT users. That is a ready-made, massive audience that instantly threatens the iPhone. If OpenAI drops this new device at a competitive price point, they could easily sweep up that mid-range market that Apple historically ignores. So yeah, Apple's new CEO, John Ternus, definitely has a massive challenge on his hands. But wait, the hardware is only half of the OpenAI story today. Let's look at the software side, specifically the AGI clause. So for years, Microsoft and OpenAI operated under this exclusive partnership. But hanging over it was this incredibly ambiguous contract provision about artificial general intelligence. Basically, what happens when a machine becomes as smart as a human. Because nobody could actually agree on what AGI looks like in practice, this clause was basically a ticking time bomb sitting in their paperwork, causing immense tension between the two companies. Well, they finally fixed it by completely blowing up the old rules. This brilliantly illustrates the shift. On the left, you see the old setup. OpenAI was locked exclusively into Microsoft's Azure cloud and had to pay out a revenue share. But look at the new contract on the right. That AGI clause, completely deleted. Microsoft lost its exclusivity, so now OpenAI is totally off the leash. They can sell their models to AWS, Google Cloud, whoever they want. Microsoft does keep a non-exclusive license until 2032, but for all intents and purposes, this is a fully open market now. OpenAI just unchained itself to scale globally.
All right, moving on to Section 2. The X ecosystem financial revolution.
Let's pivot over to fintech because Elon Musk is making a massive disruption play here. Let me hit you with this number right out of the gate. 6%. That is the annual percentage yield being offered on the brand new X Money digital wallet. As X tries to morph into this WeChat-style financial super app, they're rolling out this early access US launch with returns that absolutely blow traditional banks out of the water. It is a highly aggressive hook, and it's designed to pull your fiat currency straight onto the X platform.
So what are you actually getting if you move your money over? Let's run through the core features. You get your standard $250,000 deposit insurance, you get a solid 3% cashback on purchases, instant, fee-free, peer-to-peer transfers using Visa Direct. They're even throwing in a physical metal debit card engraved with your X handle, which is a pretty clever identity play. And they're already licensed in over 40 US states. They are going right for the throats of Venmo and Cash App. Though I do need to point out, despite years of rumors, this is a fiat-only product right now. There is absolutely zero crypto support in this early version.
Next up, Section 3, Important Changes to Everyday Apps.
Okay, stepping away from the billionaires for a second, let's talk about something that affects everyday digital utility. 21 million.
That's a big number. It's the population of a small country. Now sure, it represents just 0.7% of Android's massive 3 billion global users, but every single one of those 21 million people is about to completely lose access to the world's most popular messaging app.
Here's why this matters. Starting September 8, 2026, WhatsApp is officially pulling the plug on Android 5.0 and 5.1. You probably remember it as Lollipop. So if you, or maybe your parents, are still rocking a phone from 2014 or 2015, you essentially have a 4-month warning to go upgrade your device. Meta is making this hard cut because those old operating systems are a security nightmare, and keeping them alive is dragging down the app's performance optimization for everybody else.
On the flip side, if you do have a newer device, you are getting some pretty sweet upgrades. Take Samsung's newly released update, Samsung Wallet Trips. They are taking dead aim at Apple Wallet by perfectly consolidating what used to require 5 separate travel apps into one streamlined smart timeline. It auto-scans your email for flights, gives you direct digital hotel check-ins, stores digital keys for your rental car, and pushes smart alerts for gate changes. It's just a massive quality of life boost, and honestly, a brilliant way to keep frequent flyers completely locked into the Samsung ecosystem.
Finally, Section 4, AI in service of the military.
For this last segment, we are going to slow things down a bit. We're shifting away from consumer tech and looking at a very serious intersection of advanced technology and global security. Recently, details of a secret contract were revealed through internal leaks. According to the documents, Google Cloud and the U.S. Department of Defense have officially partnered to use the Gemini AI model for unspecified lawful purposes. We are looking strictly at the facts here. This contract legally authorizes the military to utilize one of the world's most advanced AI models for its operational needs.
Now, to fully grasp the weight of this development, we really have to look at the historical context. Google has had a very complicated, fraught 8-year journey with military contracts. Back in 2018, Google was part of Project Maven, providing AI to analyze drone footage, but massive employee protests forced the company to exit that contract. Then, in 2021, internal pressure again led Google to withdraw entirely from the Pentagon's JEDI cloud bidding process. Fast forward to 2026, and this secret contract marks a quiet but definitive return by Google to military AI deployment.
The core controversy surrounding this new agreement really centers on one highly specific provision. The contract reportedly grants the Pentagon the authority to alter or completely remove the AI's internal safety settings. Basically, the U.S. military can bypass the built-in ethical guardrails that Google normally uses to prevent the AI from generating harmful content or assisting in weaponization. As you might expect, this provision has sparked deep internal debate among Google's employees regarding how this tech will ultimately be utilized on the battlefield.
So it leaves us with a pretty profound question to ponder. When safety guardrails become optional, where exactly do we draw the ethical red line for military AI? It's a deeply complex issue without an easy answer, but it's absolutely one that will define the future of technology and global warfare. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me in today's breakdown. I hope this analysis gave you some clear insights into the massive forces shifting our digital world right now. Keep questioning the tech around you, and I'll catch you in the next one.